We had a deep frost last night. It was about 20 here in the valley first thing in the morning, and the hill towns surrounding us, they had teens. So I guess it's probably about time I did a fall wrap-up out here of what's going on in the yard, what we've done over the past year, and just kind of where we stand right now. And then maybe we can develop a plan for what we're going to do in the spring. So I'll start out here with the shed. I keep the wheelbarrow outside because I didn't have room in the shed, and I found that if I had it outside, I'd use it more often, which I do, but I didn't like it being right in the weather. So last February, I came out here and I erected this little roof, and it does a really good job of keeping the snow and the rain pretty much off this wheelbarrow. I had picked up an expensive one. This is a solid tire, it's all steel, and I was hoping that it would outlive me, and it's on track to do that. So that's it. Here where we keep our summer garden tools and stuff, I've got everything wrapped up. I do have a bale of straw there that's got to go over on the strawberries soon, but everything else is put away. I've got my wood supply. I'm currently working on that shed there, and then if I exhaust that, I'll pick from here. And then that's a backup supply. So it's supposed to be a cold winter, so I think that's a good idea to have a backup supply. I got my compost bin here. I had someone finally get into it after 19 years. They knocked it over. And what I found was there was a huge mice nest in there, and I think that maybe a raccoon or one of our resident coyotes may have toppled it in order to get at the mice, because the stuff inside wasn't really picked through. It was just the mouse nest. So I think we're doing good. I put it all back together and everything's fine. Our biggest change is over here in our garden area. That row of hedges is forsythias, and we had 7 beds backed up against that row, and they weren't getting enough sun, so we dismantled them and we moved them to another area. I'll show you that in a minute. I took 2 of the best wood beds. Most of them were rotted, but so I took 2 of the best wood beds and I stuck them here where those 2 strips of dirt are, and I tried to grow tomatoes there, but the ground here is really lousy, so I had really poor results. And then here I had 2 short beds here that made one long one. I had 2 short over there and 1 in the middle, and I took the best of the beds and I made that long bed, and that's just going to be herbs. That'll be dill, there's some oregano in there and some chives, and then we're going to keep that here separated from all the vegetables. As you can see, I moved these, leveled it off. I moved one over there, and that one there is holding perennials for spring. They'll have to be relocated. And at that time, I'll disperse that soil and this pile of soil here. This will all be grass here until we figure out what we're going to do. We're trying to move the garden closer to the house, basically. Over here, we had a very good year with grapes. We certainly had a lot of fruit. It was very dry, and we kept hand watering it. And then the birds found it, course, they were struggling too, and they devoured all the grapes. So that was about, other than tasting a few, we didn't get anything. So we'll try again next year. And then we had red potatoes in this bed and that bed, and we got a few, but there were a lot of them there, but a vole got in there and ate pieces of a bunch of them. So, and then the coyotes came and dug it up looking for the vole. So, you know, it was a challenge. So this next year, this will all be milkweed. We grow milkweed for the caterpillars, for the butterflies, yada yada. And so that's all going to be milkweed because it's taken over anyway. So we're going to leave it there. We used to have rhubarb here, right here, and right there. And those two beds were going bad because, again, it's all gravel. So I moved them probably a year ago, and this past summer I didn't pick anything. I let it just sit and get reestablished. So in the spring we should have some pretty good rhubarb. This is where we removed the 7 beds. We threw down some hay, but it was so hot, nothing really grew. My ash bucket. This is the south side of the garage. Stuff here does really well anyway, but that stuff never got cut down. We'll wait till spring. So it's a butterfly bush. Usually we cut these down, but we opted to leave this up this year. So let me show you the rest of the yard. This was the deck. We had everything buttoned up. I'm trying to thaw the ice out of that watering can. We use that for filling the bird feeder in the winter. That's got to move into the garage, and then we'll empty it each time we use it. It's a little fountain wrapped up. And over here is the new garden area. Of those 7 beds that we broke up, I took the best of what I could find, and I probably shouldn't use the word best, but I attached them together, and that will be cucumbers next year, and by then the wood will be so rotted that, you know, we can just dispose of it. We grew cucumbers there with 1 layer of wood this summer, and they came out pretty good, so we're going to try that again with the 3, see what happens. And if that works well, we'll convert to metal for beds. I took a little bit of this stump off recently, get that a little lower, then we can cover that with a bed that will eat that up. And this is our pepper bed. I like the height of it, and it's almost, I don't know, 2.5 feet high, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, 2 feet high, I guess. But it's good. It's a 3x3, and I can get 6 or 8 plants in there, and they grew really well this year. So that's our new rhubarb bed, and that will come and go before the peppers really get in here. There's another stump I have to finish cutting down. And then this was the main area for our garden. Strawberries over there in the corner that need to be covered. These beds here, we threw a lot of compost in there and then covered it with dirt, and that's sunk down now. So in the spring we'll do the same thing. We'll dig it all up and rejuvenate it. Throw more compost, more dirt, bring it back up to level, which is what you have to do when you have raised beds. But, you know, the metal should last me for my lifetime. And then we want to construct a few more in this area here. We didn't do that this spring because we ran a drain line, come out by those blocks, went underneath these two beds, and arced over to where those stones are. And that's the sump pump drain for the basement. And now we have that established that we can put more beds in here. Our rainwater tanks there are put away for the winter. You can see we've took that hedge down quite a bit. That was done this summer. That was a challenge. We went far lower than what we normally do. As we're both getting older, it gets more difficult to do it. So, just recently we finished cleaning all the gutters out, our last time before winter, and tomorrow we're expecting our first snow. All the leaves are down with the exception of this lonely oak, and those leaves will hang on until in the spring. The beds have been cleaned out pretty much. I have left a few things for next year, but this was all hostas here. And this is where the bird bath goes in the summer. And that's a butterfly bush that we transplanted there. I didn't think it would make it in the heat, but it did. And this is sedum. This is a fall flowering plant. This will die off soon, probably tomorrow, but the spring we'll clean it up, take it off at the soil level, and then away we go. So that's pretty much it. Super hot summer. You know, it was difficult to garden, but we got it done. So we're heading into winter now. So that's about it for my fall wrap-up. Thanks for watching.